What if the 1 cent coin in your pocket right now could be worth $992,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial penny, the kind most people overlook, could change your life forever. Think about that for a second. You've probably dropped a penny without a second thought. You've probably left one in a tip jar or ignored it lying on the sidewalk. But right now, collectors are paying nearly $1 million for the right coin. And here's the real twist. Most people walk past this fortune every single day without realizing it. Now, before you sprint to your couch cushions or dig through your coin jar, there's something you need to know. Because the difference between a regular penny and a life-changing penny comes down to one tiny, easy-to-miss detail. Quick question: how many times have you bent over to pick up a penny? If you said never, you might want to start stretching your back, because after this video you will in the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through the full story. Where this penny came from, why it's so rare, how to identify it, and most importantly, how to cash in if you're lucky enough to have one. But I'll warn you, this isn't just a coin story. This is about spotting opportunity where others see nothing. And that mindset could be worth a lot more than one coin. Let's rewind to 1992. The U.S. Mint in Denver was striking billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most were normal, but a tiny handful had a very unusual trait. Here's where the magic and the money comes in. The rare variety you're looking for is called the close AM design. Normally, the letters A and M in the word America on the back of the coin have a visible space between them. But on this rare version, the A and M are so close, they almost touch. That's it. One small design difference, and the value skyrockets. Why so valuable? Because it was never meant to happen. These pennies are a minting mistake. They were struck using a proof coin die, meant only for collector sets, but accidentally used for regular circulation coins in Denver. And the number released? We don't know for sure, but it's believed to be only a few dozen. Now here's where things get really interesting, because even if you find one, there's another tiny detail that could be the difference between a couple $100s and a 6- or 7-figure payday. That detail: condition. Collectors will pay exponentially more for a coin in pristine, uncirculated shape. A flawless example, graded MS 67, recently sold for $992,000 at auction. That's $992,000 for one penny. Imagine holding a penny and knowing it could buy you a luxury home, a dream car, or pay off every debt you've ever had. At that point, you wouldn't be saying a penny for your thoughts. You'd be saying a penny for my yacht fund. So how do you find one? Simple. Check your change. Go through your coin jars. Look at the back of every 1992 D penny you come across. Focus on the AM in America. If the letters are close together, you might be holding a gold mine in copper form. And here's the kicker: most people don't even know this variety exists. That means more opportunities for sharp-eyed treasure hunters like you. Let me paint the picture for you. Somewhere in a drawer, a coffee can, or an old wallet in your house, a 1992 D close AM Lincoln penny could be sitting, waiting, quietly worth almost $1 million. Every day you wait to look is another day someone else could find it. Imagine the heartbreak of realizing you had one, but spent it on a pack of gum years ago. Don't let that happen. Start checking today. Because coins like this are vanishing into private collections, and once they're gone, they're gone. This isn't just about money, it's about opportunity. And opportunity rarely knocks twice. And here's something most people don't realize. This 1992 D close AM isn't the only penny out there worth a fortune. There are other modern cents hiding in plain sight that can turn pocket change into a small fortune. And some are even easier to find than this one. So, if you're serious about turning your spare change into life-changing money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in my next video, I'm revealing another penny variety that could put thousands in your pocket, and it might be sitting in your wallet right now. Imagine reaching into your pocket right now, pulling out a penny, and realizing it's worth more than your house.
Sounds impossible?
Think again. There is a 2007 Lincoln Memorial penny with a tiny D mint mark that has been sold for a jaw-dropping $207,000. And here's the twist. There could still be more out there, quietly sitting in jars, drawers, or coin albums, just waiting to be discovered. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "It's just a penny," let me stop you right there, because the truth is, that penny could be the ticket to a completely different life. A new home, a debt-free future, a financial cushion so big, your kids and grandkids will thank you for decades. And I know what you're thinking. If it's worth so much, why haven't I heard about it before? Well, not every treasure comes with a flashing neon sign. In fact, the most valuable coins are usually the ones hiding in plain sight, blending in with the rest, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to spot them. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly why this coin is so rare, how to identify it, and most importantly, how to make sure you're not accidentally giving away a fortune for just 1 cent. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around until the end, because there's a twist about this penny that could make yours even more valuable than the record-breaking sale. Back in 2007, millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint. Most were ordinary, mass-produced coins, but a small number had a striking flaw, a flaw so subtle that almost everyone missed it. It could be a double die, a rare die clash, or an off-center strike. But whatever the cause, this tiny imperfection turned an ordinary copper-plated coin into a collector's dream. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Imagine a man in Colorado, just going about his life. He finds this penny mixed in with loose change from a grocery store. He tosses it into a jar. Years later, while sorting coins, he spots something odd. The details on the design look different. He sends it to a grading service, and when it comes back, the news is unbelievable. His penny is certified as one of the rarest known examples, and it eventually sells for $207,000. This is where fear and excitement mix. Fear, because you might have already handled one of these and unknowingly spent it on a pack of gum. Excitement, because if you haven't, you might still find one. Now, here's your first cliffhanger. The real secret to identifying this penny is not just in the mint mark or the date. There's something else hidden in the design that separates a high-value coin from a common one. So, what exactly should you be looking for? Start with the basics, the year 2007, the D-mint mark right below the date, and the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. But then look closer. Check for doubling in the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust. Examine Lincoln's eye, the steps of the memorial, and even the spacing between letters. These subtle variations are what coin graders live for, and what can turn your 1-cent coin into a 6-figure payday. Here's another tip: condition is everything. A 2007 D penny in mint state with sharp details and no wear can skyrocket in value. That's why serious collectors keep their coins in protective holders, away from fingerprints, dirt, and moisture. And if you think you found one, don't just rush to your local pawn shop. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. The right certification can mean the difference between selling it for a few hundred and selling it for life-changing money. Now let's address the urgency. Every year, more of these coins disappear into private collections, never to be sold again. That means the remaining supply is shrinking, and the value of each surviving coin could rise even higher. If you wait too long, you might miss your chance entirely. Picture this: a year from now, someone else finds the penny that could have been yours, and you're watching their story on the news, wondering why you didn't check your change. Don't let that happen. Tonight, dump out every jar of coins you own. Check the bottoms of drawers, old wallets, even the cup holder in your car, because your future might just be hiding there in copper and zinc. And here's my final cliffhanger. There's another modern penny, minted just 2 years after this one, that has shocked collectors with prices even higher than this 2007 D. But that is a story for our next video. If you want to be the first to hear about it, make sure you subscribe now, because one small coin could be the biggest financial discovery of your life. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. Not just any penny, but one so rare it could be worth nearly $1 million. Now, picture that penny sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter, ignored for decades. If you knew it could pay off your house, send your kids to college, and still leave you with enough for a luxury car, would you still let it gather dust? Today, I'm revealing the untold story of the 1988 Memorial No-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that has turned ordinary Americans into overnight millionaires. Its current market value? $988,000. And the most shocking part? This treasure could be hiding in your change right now. I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. But that's exactly what everyone thought, until the truth came out. Before we dive in, quick question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? And no, Squinting at it to see if it's chocolate under the foil doesn't count. Let's go back to 1988 and 1988. Millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies were minted. But a small, almost invisible detail changed everything for a handful of them. These special no-mint mark coins weren't just mistakes. They were anomalies, whispers of history captured in copper and zinc. Without the familiar letter under the date, these pennies became an enigma. How did it happen? Why were they missed by quality control? The answer remains one of the most intriguing mysteries in American coinage. Collectors prize these coins for two reasons. First, the rarity of very few are known to exist in pristine, uncirculated condition. Second, the backstory, a combination of human oversight and minting quirks that transformed pocket change into a golden ticket. Now here's where it gets interesting. Condition is everything. A scratched, worn 1988 penny might be worth, well, a penny. But a flawless, high-grade, no-mint mark version? That's where the $988,000 valuation comes into play. And yes, verified auction records back this up. Imagine the thrill of finding one in an old coin jar. Heart racing, hands shaking. You realize that a single coin you ignored for years could now buy you a home in cash. Still not checking your change? Let me give you one more reason. Coins like this have been found in the most ordinary places, between couch cushions, at garage sales, even stuck under car seats. Which means, what if the next person to discover one is your neighbor, not you? Here's the urgent truth. Every year that passes, these coins disappear into private collections, never to be sold again. The window to find one is closing. Your mission is simple. Tonight, take out every penny you own and inspect it under good light. Look for 1988, no-mint mark, crisp details, and minimal wear. If you think you've found one, do not clean it. Do not toss it in your pocket. Place it in a protective holder and get it appraised by a reputable numismatist. Because here's the cliffhanger: next week, I'll reveal the shocking twist that could double or even triple the value of certain 1988 pennies overnight. And trust me, you'll want to be ready before that news breaks. So ask yourself, are you going to be the one telling the story of how you turned a penny into a fortune? Or the one wishing you had looked sooner? Subscribe now, because the next video might just be the one that changes your life forever. Imagine walking past a small bowl of loose change on your kitchen counter. You pick up a penny, thinking it's worth exactly 1 cent. But what if I told you that penny could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent that could change the rest of your life. This isn't just a fairy tale for coin collectors. This is happening right now in America to people who never thought they owned anything valuable. And the star of today's story? The 1975 D. Lincoln Memorial penny. Before you dismiss this as just another coin video, let me make you a promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this penny, why it's worth up to $975,000, and how a simple discovery in your pocket change could open the door to the kind of financial freedom most people only dream about. But first, let's set the stage. In 1975, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Most are common, but a tiny fraction, and I mean tiny, hold extraordinary value. These rare specimens are a perfect storm of minting precision, historical timing, and unique errors that make them irresistible to collectors. Now, I can see you leaning in a little closer. That's good, because here's where the story gets exciting. The most valuable 1975 D penny isn't covered in diamonds or made of solid gold. It's an ordinary copper penny, with extraordinary flaws and details. First, the mint mark. That small letter D under the date tells you it was struck in Denver. But here's the twist. Some have slight doubling on the date or lettering, others have perfect uncirculated surfaces, and a select few are what experts call high-grade proofs or errors that never should have left the mint. And when those rare examples hit the auction block, collectors with deep pockets go wild. In the current market, the highest recorded sale is a staggering $975,000. Imagine opening an envelope from your coin dealer or finding one in a jar at home and realizing you just hit a 7-figure jackpot. Now let me pause. I know what you might be thinking. You're wondering, what if I've been spending these for years without even knowing? Exactly. That fear? That's why you need to know this now. Here's a quick checklist. Sharp, crisp details, flawless surfaces, unusual doubling, and of course that Denver D mint mark. And if you find something that matches, stop everything. Because every day that passes without checking your change could be the day you spend a fortune without realizing it. Picture the scene. You're holding this tiny, reddish-brown coin in your hand, your heart pounding. You know what it is. You know what it's worth. You've just crossed from the world of, "I wish I could," into the world of, "I can." That's the beauty of coins like the 1975 D. Lincoln penny. They are the great equalizers. You don't need a mansion or a private island to own one. Just a little curiosity, a sharp eye, and the knowledge you have right now. Some people will watch this video and think, "Neat story." Others will get up, grab a magnifying glass, and start looking. And those are the ones who change their lives. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, take out your jars, your drawers, your old coffee cans full of coins. Look for that 1975 D penny. Because in this economy, the person who finds one isn't just lucky. They're prepared. And if you want more tips, secrets, and real-life treasure hunts that could lead to coins worth thousands or even millions, make sure you subscribe. Your next fortune might already be sitting in your pocket. Because the difference between a penny and $1 million is knowing what to look for. Imagine this. You're sorting through a jar of pennies in the kitchen. It's late, the TV's on in the background, and you're just looking for something to do. You pull out a 1968 penny and think nothing of it. But what if I told you that one single penny, just like that one, could be worth more than $968,000? Yes, almost $1 million, and most people have no idea. Now, before you run to dump out your coin jar, listen closely. Because there's a twist. Out of the millions of 1968 pennies made, only a rare handful have a special trait. And if yours has it, it's not just a penny. It's a passport to a wealthy life you didn't see coming. But here's the scary part. Every single day, someone unknowingly spends one of these rare coins at a grocery store, losing their shot at fortune forever. Will you be the one who finds it, or the one who throws it away? Let's rewind to 1968. America was in the middle of change, the space race, cultural revolutions, and a booming economy. The U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of coins. In Philadelphia, a batch of Lincoln Memorial pennies left the presses without a mint mark, a tiny letter that usually tells you where it was made. This missing mint mark is what makes the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth nearly $1 million. Now you might be thinking, hold on, how can something so small make something so valuable? That's the beauty of rare coins. Collectors pay astronomical prices for tiny imperfections because they tell a story no ordinary coin can tell. Here's the pattern interrupt. Think of it like baseball cards. The ones with misprints, they're the ones collectors fight over. The same thing happens with coins. A perfect factory mistake becomes a piece of history. But don't get too comfortable, because the trick is, not every 1968 penny without a mint mark is valuable. Some are common. The ones worth the big bucks have razor-sharp details, original luster, and are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Some even show rare die errors, those little quirks from the coin press that can send their value skyrocketing. And yes, there's a reason people are willing to pay up to $968,000 for the right one. It's not just about owning metal. It's about owning a slice of history. It's about being one of the very few who can say, "I hold something the rest of the world wants." Picture this, you're holding a tiny copper coin in your palm. You take it to a professional grader. The expert looks up, eyebrows raised, and says, "You have no idea what you've got here." That moment is pure electricity, because in that instant you realize your life is about to change. Now, here's where urgency comes in. Every day, these rare pennies disappear into piggy banks, vending machines, and the hands of people who'll never know their value. The longer you wait to check your coins, the more likely you are to miss your chance forever. So what should you do right now? First, pull out every 1968 penny you can find. Look carefully. No mint mark below the date means you might be holding something extraordinary. Then, inspect for sharp detail and flawless condition. If it looks promising, get it appraised by a professional coin grader immediately. Because here's the cliffhanger, for all you know, your $1 million coin could already be in your house. Could be hiding in that jar on the shelf. And the only question left is, will you be the one to find it, or will someone else cash in on your fortune? If you're ready to uncover more hidden treasures like this and learn the insider secrets that coin collectors don't want you to know, hit subscribe right now. Your next big payday might just be sitting in your pocket. Imagine opening your grandmother's old coin jar one ordinary afternoon and finding a single penny that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a new car, and still leave you with enough to take that dream vacation around the world. Sounds insane, right? But here's the thing. It's real. The 1958 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark is quietly changing the lives of those lucky enough to spot it. Current market value? A staggering $958,000. And in rare cases, even more. Now before you think, it's just a penny, how can it be worth that much? Remember, wealth often hides in the smallest, most ordinary places. Quick question, how many pennies do you think you've touched in your life? Hundreds? Thousands?
Millions?
And yet, one of them might have been worth a small fortune, and you didn't even know it. Painful thought, right? Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this unassuming coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and the steps to turn it into serious money before the opportunity slips away. But fair warning, by the time you finish watching, you might be tearing apart every couch cushion and coin jar you own. Back in 1958, America was in the midst of change. Elvis was on the radio, cars had chrome for days, and pennies were still made of nearly pure copper. That year, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents, but something unusual happened. Certain coins came out with slight differences. Minute details in the lettering, spacing, and even the texture of the strike. These tiny imperfections, combined with their no mint mark origin from Philadelphia, made them prime targets for collectors decades later. Here's the kicker. Most people had no idea. They spent them like any other penny, on gum, candy, or maybe a soda. Those same coins now command jaw-dropping prices when they appear in pristine, uncirculated condition. Picture this. An unsuspecting man in Ohio once sold a coin he found in his father's desk drawer for nearly $1 million at auction. His only regret? He wished he'd searched the rest of the collection more carefully. And that brings us to the first golden rule. Condition is everything. A 1958 penny that's been rattling around in your change for decades might fetch a few $100s. But one that has been preserved in near-perfect shape? That's where the $1 million magic happens. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these treasures? It comes down to three things: sharpness of detail, absence of a mint mark under the date, and sometimes an unusual doubling effect on the letters. And yes, I'll tell you exactly what that doubling looks like. In a moment. Here's where the stakes get real. The value of these coins has been climbing year after year, and collectors are actively hunting them down. Every time one is sold at auction, it sets a new benchmark, and the fewer that remain in perfect condition, the more the next one will be worth. That means if you have one hiding in your home and you sit on it for too long, you might miss your chance. And worse, someone else might find it before you do. So here's your action plan. Tonight, grab every jar, box, and drawer where coins might be hiding. Lay them out under a bright light. Look for the year 1958. Check under the date. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. Then, examine the letters Liberty and In God We Trust for crispness or any doubling in the edges of the letters. And here's your pattern interrupt. If you find yourself talking to your coins like a game show host yelling, "Come on, big money," don't worry. It's a sign you're doing it right. If you find one that matches the criteria, don't spend it, protect it. Place it in a coin holder, avoid touching the surface, and reach out to a reputable coin dealer or auction house. And here's the cliffhanger I'll leave you with. There's an even rarer version of the 1958 penny out there that doesn't just have collectors excited, it has them losing sleep. But that's a story for another video. So now you know. Sometimes the road to wealth is paved in copper, not gold. That one penny you've ignored for years could be the key to a life-changing fortune. Search smart, act fast, and who knows? You might just be holding $1 million piece of history in your hands. If you want to uncover more hidden treasures in your change, hit that subscribe button, because your next fortune might be just one coin away. They say opportunity knocks only once, but sometimes it hides in the bottom of an old coffee can, rattling like loose change you almost forgot about. Imagine holding a penny, just 1 cent, and realizing it could change your life forever. What if I told you a 1957 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Something so ordinary you've probably seen it 100 times. Could be worth $957,000 in today's market? Pause for effect. Before you rush to check your change jar, let's talk about the story behind this coin and why people are paying nearly $1 million for what looks like just another penny. And trust me, once you hear this, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. The year was 1957. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis was on the radio, and the United States Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents in Philadelphia, coins with no mint mark. For most people, these were everyday coins, jingling in pockets, buying candy bars, or dropped between couch cushions. But here's where things get fascinating. Out of those millions, a very small number were struck with such precision, such flawlessness, and in such pristine condition that decades later, collectors would treat them like treasure. Some coins even came with tiny, nearly invisible errors, imperfections so rare they became more valuable than gold. Imagine a coin struck just slightly off-center, or with doubled lettering on Liberty, or In God We Trust. What's worth a penny to most becomes worth hundreds of thousands to the right buyer. Pattern interrupt humor? And yes, before you ask, this is the first time in your life where being a little off could make you rich. So why $957,000? It's all about condition and rarity. The most valuable 1957 no-mint mark pennies are graded at the highest mint state levels. Perfect, untouched, almost glowing as if they just rolled off the press yesterday. These coins aren't just copper. They're history, frozen in time. Collectors, especially high-end investors, will pay staggering sums to own them. Why? Because they're not making any more 1957 pennies. Every year, more are lost, damaged, or worn down, making flawless survivors rarer than ever. But here's the twist, and the part that could put money in your pocket. Most people have no idea they own one. Right now, sitting in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection book, you might have a 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or send your kids to college. The market is hot. Rare coin values are surging, and buyers are actively searching for top-condition examples of this coin. But here's the catch, the window won't stay open forever. Just like the housing market, coin prices rise and fall. Wait too long, and you might watch $1 million opportunity slip through your fingers. So let me ask you, how many times have you let change sit untouched for years? What if that habit just cost you $957,000? If you think you might have one, here's what you do. Carefully check your coin's date, 1957. Look under the date. No mint mark means it came from Philadelphia. Inspect its condition. If it looks sharp, untarnished, and well-defined, you could be holding a fortune. Have it professionally graded. A top-tier grade can turn a good coin into a life-changing one. I'll tell you this. The next time you get change at the store, your heart will skip a beat when you see a penny from the 1950s. Because maybe, just maybe, your ticket to wealth is sitting quietly in your hand, disguised as the most ordinary coin in America. If you're ready to learn more secrets about coins that could be hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey to uncover hidden treasures. Your $1 million penny could be next. Picture this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, dust dancing in the sunlight, when your fingers brush across a small copper coin. Ordinary, right? But what if I told you that little disc in your hand could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, 1 cent could change your entire life. The 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just another coin. It's a silent millionaire maker. And today, we're going to uncover exactly why this humble penny has skyrocketed to a staggering $956,000 in today's market, and how to tell if the one sitting in your change jar could be your ticket to wealth beyond imagination. Now, before you think, come on, how can a penny be worth more than a Lamborghini? Remember this. Rarity hides in plain sight, and those who know where to look often walk away holding history in their hands and a fortune in their pocket. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you what makes this coin special, how to identify it, and the secret factors that could turn your loose change into life-changing money. And trust me, you won't want to blink, because missing just one detail could cost you everything. Let's start with the basics. The 1956 penny was struck in Philadelphia, which means no mint mark. While millions were produced, a very small number came out with unique errors and condition perfection that collectors will pay a fortune for. Here's where it gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Some 1956 pennies have doubling on the date or lettering. Others have rare die varieties. And then there's the Holy Grail coins preserved in pristine condition, untouched by decades of handling, graded by experts at the very top scale. These are the ones that ignite bidding wars in auction houses. Imagine an auctioneer shouting, the tension in the room so thick you can feel your pulse in your throat. 800,000, 850, 900, sold at $956,000. Now, you might be thinking, all right, but how would I even know if my penny is one of these? Simple. Flip it over, check the Lincoln Memorial side. Look for razor-sharp detail, no scratches, and that deep, rich original luster. Use a magnifying glass, imperfections that the naked eye misses can make or break the value. Quick question for you, when was the last time you actually looked at a penny closely? I'm not talking about the, oh yeah, that's a penny glance. I mean really looked at it like a detective hunting a clue in a murder mystery. You haven't, right? And that's exactly why rare coins hide in plain sight. They're invisible to the rushed and overlooked by the unaware. But here's the kicker, the 1956 penny's value isn't just about what you see. It's about what it represents. Survival over decades, untouched beauty, and a piece of American history you can hold in your hand. And just when you think you've got it figured out, there's one more twist. You see, the market for rare coins is heating up like never before. Collectors are pouring millions into securing pieces that are getting harder to find each year. Every day that passes, another high-grade 1956 penny gets locked away in a private collection. Gone from public reach, possibly forever. That means urgency isn't just advice. It's a necessity. If you've got a 1956 penny, check it today. Every day you wait could be the day someone else claims the jackpot you're sitting on. Imagine this, it's a year from now, and you hear on the news that a coin identical to yours just sold for $1.2 million. You think back to this very moment when you could have acted, but didn't. That's the kind of regret that echoes. Don't let that be your story. Start hunting. Check your change. Search old drawers, coin jars, even that dusty coffee can in the garage. If you find one, get it professionally graded. The difference between a penny and a life-changing payday often comes down to knowledge. And you now have that knowledge. So here's your next step. Subscribe and stick with me. Because the 1956 no-mint mark penny isn't the only hidden treasure in your home. In my next video, we'll uncover another coin that could make the 1956 look, well, cheap. Remember, wealth isn't always earned. Sometimes it's found. And the fortune of a lifetime could be in your hands right now. Imagine the smallest coin in your pocket holding the power to change your life forever. 1 cent. The price of a piece of gum back in the day. But today, the right 1 cent could be worth $955,000, almost $1 million. And the craziest part? You might have seen one and let it slip away without knowing. Pause. Soft, suspenseful background music builds now. I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth nearly $1 million? That's like finding a diamond in a cereal box. Exactly. And just like the person who throws away the cereal box without checking, most people will never know the treasure they had in their hands. But today, by the end of this video, you will. Because I'm going to tell you what makes the 1955 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent so rare, how to know if you have one, and why collectors are willing to pay a life-changing fortune for it. And trust me, once you hear the story, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. 1. The origin story. Let's go back to Denver. 1955. Eisenhower was president. Gas was 23 cents a gallon. Rock and roll was just starting to shake the nation. And deep inside the Denver Mint, a small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck. Pennies that would accidentally become one of the most valuable in U.S. history. This was not supposed to happen. But in coin collecting, mistakes can be magic. The 1955 penny was born in an era before high-tech quality checks. One tiny variation in strike, metal, or preservation, and suddenly you have a coin that doesn't just sit in a jar. It sits in a glass case under $1 million insurance policy. Pattern interrupt, light humor, and let's be real. That's the only penny in the world that could actually pay for the gas you put in your car this week. 2. What makes it so valuable? Collectors are not just buying a coin. They're buying history. The right 1955 penny has Mint luster untouched by circulation, the correct D mint mark placement, flawless details on Lincoln's face, and lettering a grade so high that even veteran collectors whistle when they see it. And here's where the excitement and fear kicks in if you have one of these and don't know it. Every day that coin sits in a box or jar could be another day it gets scratched, tarnished, or damaged, slashing its value in seconds. Point 3. The market reality right now, a top-grade 1955 D penny is fetching up to $955,000 at auctions. That's not hype, that's public record. Imagine selling a single penny and buying a house with it. Or paying off every debt you have in one transaction. And the market is hungry. Coin collectors, investment firms, even private museums, all are in a bidding war for rare American coins, and the 1955 D is one of the crown jewels. Mini cliffhanger to keep engagement, but here's the real kicker. There's a reason this coin might actually be easier to find than you think, and I'll explain in a moment. Point 1. Why you might already own one. Unlike some rare coins locked away in private vaults, the 1955 D penny was circulated. That means it passed through hands, pockets, purses, vending machines. Some ended up in change jars, some in kids' piggy banks, and yes, some are still floating around in drawers across America. So yes, there's a non-zero chance that an old coffee can in your garage could hold a penny worth $955,020. How to check? Here's the date, 1955, on the obverse, the small D mint mark just below the year. No wear or very minimal wear. Ideally red or red-brown luster, sharp strike details, and no major scratches if you even suspect you have one. Do not clean it, do not rub it, do not toss it in your pocket. Get it graded by a professional because a single scratch can cost you 6 figures. Pattern interrupt. Humor to reset attention. Seriously. Dropping this penny on the floor is like dropping a Faberge egg. You don't just shrug and say, oops. 3. The urgency. Here's the truth. Rare coin values rise and fall. Right now, the market for the 1955 D is hot. The longer you wait, the more chances for the market to cool or for your coin to get damaged. The opportunity to cash in big could vanish. Point 4. The final cliffhanger and call to action. So the next time you hear that small metallic clink in your pocket, ask yourself, is that just a penny? Or is it your ticket to a wealthy new chapter in life? Somewhere out there, someone's going to find one. And when they do, they'll remember they saw this video and acted. If you want more secrets like this, more stories of everyday coins worth life-changing money, subscribe right now. Because the next coin I reveal might just be sitting in your wallet. Imagine this. You're emptying out a jar of old pennies, and one tiny copper coin stares back at you. It looks ordinary, brown, worn, the kind of penny you'd toss in a tip jar without thinking twice. But here's the twist. This one is not just a penny. It's a 1952 Lincoln 1 cent with a tiny D under the date. And it could be worth almost $1 million. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, yeah, right, remember, most millionaires aren't made by lottery tickets. They're made by recognizing hidden value before anyone else does. But here's the scary part. Every day, rare pennies like this are being spent at gas stations, dropped in parking lots, and forgotten in piggy banks. That's money, your money, vanishing into thin AI. So stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly why this coin is so rare, what makes it worth $952,000 today, and how you might already have one sitting in your home right now. And yes, before the end, I'll reveal the one little detail collectors go absolutely crazy for, a detail that could turn your penny into the ticket to your dream lifestyle. First, let's step back into history. The year is 1952. The United States is riding a wave of post-war optimism. Cars are growing fins, televisions are invading living rooms, and in Denver, the U.S. Mint is quietly pressing millions of Lincoln cents into existence. Most of them, ordinary, mass-produced, copper coins that served their purpose and vanished into circulation. But a handful, an unbelievably small handful, came out different. Some had minting errors so subtle you'd never notice without a magnifying glass. A double die here, a repunched mint mark there, a slightly off-center strike that makes collectors' hearts skip a beat. Here's the kicker. A coin with the right combination of pristine condition, rare error, and historical demand doesn't just climb in value. It skyrockets. Point 1. Collector's pristine 1952 D sold at auction for $952,000. And no, that's not a typo. That's $952,000 for one penny. The kind of money that could pay off your house, your kids' college tuition, and still leave enough for that vintage convertible you've been secretly eyeing. Now, you might be thinking, how do I even know if mine is one of those? Simple, but not easy. Condition is king. If your coin is worn, it's worth less. If it's uncirculated, meaning it looks like it just left the mint, it could be a game changer. Add in a rare error and suddenly, you're sitting on a fortune. Let me throw you a curveball. Imagine pulling a coin out of an old coffee can in your garage and realizing it's flawless. The edges sharp, the details crisp, that tiny D under the date perfectly struck. You send it to be graded, and a few weeks later you get the call. Congratulations, you have one of the finest known examples. At that moment, your life changes. Here's the truth. Opportunities like this don't come around often. Every day, coins are being cleaned incorrectly, damaged, or spent by people who have no idea what they hold. Every day, another chance at $952,000 is lost forever. You have a choice. You can ignore this and keep assuming your pennies are worthless, or you can take a few minutes, check your change, search your old jars, and find out if you've been sitting on a hidden fortune. And remember that little detail I promised to reveal? For the 1952D, collectors especially prize coins that have a full wheat stalk reverse. Sharp lines in the wheat ears, no flattening. That's a telltale sign your penny is in near-perfect condition, and it can be the difference between $50 and $50,000. Add a rare mint error? Now you're talking 6 or even 7 figures. So, don't wait. Dig through your drawers. Search your family's old coin jars. Ask your grandparents, because somewhere out there, someone is going to find the next $1 million penny. And there's no reason it can't be you. If you found the story valuable, literally, hit that subscribe button and join a community of people who know that wealth isn't always printed on a paycheck. Sometimes, it's stamped on a piece of copper smaller than your thumb. Have you ever held a penny so ordinary it could change your life forever? Imagine this, you're cleaning out an old jar of coins, you find a brown, worn 1951 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You think it's worth a cent, but in reality it could be worth $951,000. That's not a typo. Nearly $1 million from a coin most people would toss into a tip jar. Now, before you start sprinting to your coin collection, let's be honest. Most people walk past fortune without realizing it. They leave it in the drawer, drop it on the sidewalk, or let it vanish in the laundry machine. That's the silent tragedy, the treasure you never notice. Today, I'm going to reveal the true story of the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it can be worth nearly $1 million, how to identify it, and why every second you wait could mean missing your chance forever. Stay with me, because by the time we're done, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind to 1951. America was in the post-war boom. Televisions were entering homes, rock and roll was still a whisper, and pennies were pure copper. Not just any copper, high-quality 95% copper, the kind collectors crave today. The no-mint mark version was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the twist. Not all 1951 pennies are created equal. Among the millions made, a small number left the mint with unique qualities. Razor-sharp details, perfect luster, and flawless surfaces untouched by circulation. These rare survivors are the ones that bring jaw-dropping prices. One sold for $951,000 at auction. Why? Perfection. Graded at the highest possible level, it became the holy grail for collectors. Think of it like baseball cards. One crease drops the value from a fortune to a few bucks. Now, here's the fear factor. For every person who has sold one for life-changing money, there are countless others who unknowingly spent theirs on a cup of coffee. Let that sink in. Somewhere, a barista may have handed out your $1 million coin as change. Speaking of coffee, I sometimes wonder, if I had all the coins I've lost under couch cushions, could I retire? Probably not. But if one of them was a perfect 1951 no-mint mark, I'd be broadcasting this video from my private island. Act 3, the climax and call to action. So here's the urgent truth. Every year, more of these coins vanish from circulation, lost, damaged, or melted down. The window to find one is shrinking fast. And when a coin this rare appears at auction, collectors go to war. Prices climb, records break, and the stories make headlines. If you own a 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, here's what to do. First, check its condition. Look for sharp details, no scratches, and full original luster. Second, get it professionally graded. The difference between an ungraded coin and a certified top-grade coin could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's your cliffhanger. I'm about to tell you the single biggest mistake people make that destroys a coin's value instantly, and it's something almost everyone has done. Ready? They clean it. That's right, scrubbing, polishing, even wiping it with a cloth can take a coin from nearly $1 million to a few cents. Leave it untouched and let the experts handle it. Now, ask yourself this: are you going to let this knowledge slip away like so many coins lost in the change jar? Or will you take action, check your pennies, and maybe, just maybe, turn a 1-cent piece into a ticket to the life you've dreamed of? Because somewhere out there, in a box, a jar, or a forgotten drawer, a 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is waiting. And it might just have your name on it. If you want more strategies, more stories of ordinary coins worth extraordinary money, subscribe right now. Your next fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Imagine opening a dusty old jar of coins from your grandfather's attic and finding a single penny worn, dull, and seemingly worthless. You toss it aside. But what if that penny could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, an entire year of freedom from work? Here's the shocking truth. One unassuming 1948 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has fetched as much as $948,000 in today's market. That's not a typo. And somewhere in America, perhaps in a drawer, a piggy bank, or inside an old coat pocket, one could be waiting for you. Now, before you rush to start checking your coins, let's unravel the mystery of why the single penny could be a life-changing fortune. But I'll warn you, by the end of this video, you may never look at loose change the same way again. To understand why the 1948 no-mint Mark penny is so valuable, we have to go back in time. The year was 1948. America was recovering from the war, industries were booming, and pennies were being struck at the Philadelphia Mint, without any mint mark. Most people never gave them a second thought. After all, it was just a cent. But hidden among the millions were rare variations, coins struck with exceptional quality. Coins that escaped the tiniest flaws, coins that became treasures for collectors. Now here's where it gets interesting, because not every 1948 penny is worth a fortune. Many are only worth face value. The real gems are those graded in the highest conditions, untouched by circulation. Imagine the difference between a crumpled dollar bill found in your jeans and a crisp, uncirculated note from the bank. That's the leap in value we're talking about here, except multiplied 1,000 times over. Pattern interrupt. Have you ever thought about how many times you've casually spent a penny without looking at it? It's like throwing a lottery ticket in the trash because you didn't like the numbers. And just when you think it's all about condition, another factor steps in: the collector's market. Demand drives price. Every year, coin collectors scour auctions and estate sales looking for pristine examples. When two or more determined bidders want the same flawless coin, the price doesn't just rise. It explodes. That's how we reach numbers like $948,000. But here's the cliffhanger. You might think finding one of these pennies is nearly impossible. You'd be wrong. These coins are out there, in circulation, in private collections, in forgotten drawers. Every day, people unknowingly pass them along in change. But the window of opportunity is closing. As more collectors snap them up, fewer remain in the wild. And once they're gone, they're gone. So here's what you need to do. Step 1. Check your pennies. Focus on the 1948 no-mint Mark coins. If you find one in near-perfect condition, minimal scratches, deep luster, sharp details, you could be looking at a small fortune. Step 2. Get it graded. A certified grading service will verify authenticity and condition. The difference between looks nice and mint state 67 could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. Step 3. Move quickly. The coin market is like real estate. It can surge and it can cool. Right now, interest is strong, and the right buyer could change your life overnight. Humorous pattern interrupt, and before you think, oh, I'll just check next weekend, remember, someone else might be digging through their change right now and finding your future penny. Here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come from a big paycheck or a risky investment. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, in your own pocket. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't just toss your change into a jar. Look closely, because that one penny could be the one that lets you write your own ending to this story. Closing call to action. If you found this eye-opening, hit subscribe now. I share more secrets on rare coins worth life-changing money, so you never miss the next opportunity hiding in your own home. And remember, the fortune you've been searching for might already be in your hands. You're sitting at your kitchen table, maybe sipping coffee, when you dump out that jar of pennies you've been ignoring for years. One coin rolls to the edge, and you almost toss it aside. But wait, what if that penny is worth $944,000? Yes, you heard me. A single cent, less than the price of a gumball, that could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or even buy you that lakefront home you've been daydreaming about. Sounds unbelievable? That's exactly what most people think, until they find one. The coin we're talking about today is the 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. And before you think, oh, I've seen those a million times, let me tell you, this one is different. Because only a handful exist in a condition and era so rare, collectors are willing to pay nearly $1 million for it. Imagine holding history in your hand, a tiny copper disc from the middle of World War II, a time when America's future was uncertain and every resource was being pushed to its limit. This penny was never supposed to look the way it does. And that's where the magic and the money comes in. Let's rewind the clock to 1944. The war machine was roaring. The U.S. Mint had just come off producing steel cents in 1943 to save copper for ammunition. But in 1944, copper returned to pennies, except a few slipped through with a twist. Some 1944 pennies were struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year. They were never meant to leave the mint, but they did. And if yours is one of those, you're staring at life-changing wealth. Now here's the kicker. Most people have no idea how to tell the difference. You might have one in your change jar right now. The rare ones, they're magnetic. They have a silvery look instead of the normal reddish-brown copper tone. And they weigh slightly less than a normal penny. Picture it, someone spending one of these in 1944 without a second thought. It passes from hand to hand, buys candy, pays for a newspaper, disappears into pockets, until it lands in your hands today. Here's the part that makes my palms sweat. In pristine, uncirculated condition, one of these recently sold for $944,000 at auction. That's not a typo. That's a house, a dream car, and a retirement fund, packed into a single coin the size of a thumbnail. And yet, most of them are still out there, hiding in plain sight. If you're now thinking, well, my luck is awful, so I definitely don't have one, stop right there. Because every person who's found one thought the same thing. You might be wondering, why would a collector pay nearly $1 million for one penny? It's simple. Rarity plus history equals desire. These coins are tangible time capsules, pieces of America's most defining decade. And when supply is microscopic, desire drives value through the roof. But here's the part that should make you act now. Prices aren't staying still. Every year, as fewer of these coins are discovered, the market value climbs higher. That $944,000? In a few years, it could be seven figures. So here's your mission. Tonight, go through your jars, drawers, and boxes. Pull out every 1944 penny you find. Test them with a magnet. Look for that unusual silvery tone. If you find one, handle it carefully, and for the love of everything valuable, don't clean it. Cleaning can slash its value in half or more. Then, get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. This is not the kind of find you take to your local pawn shop. This is the kind of find that makes headlines. And here's the cliffhanger: what if the very next coin you check turns out to be the one? How will that moment feel? You can keep ignoring your loose change, or you can look at it as a vault holding a hidden fortune. The opportunity is real. The clock is ticking. And your $1 million penny could be closer than you think. If you found this eye-opening, hit that subscribe button and join me for more untold stories of coins worth real money. Because your next payday might be hiding in plain sight. Picture this. You're holding a small copper coin in your hand. It's worn. The date reads 1941. You're thinking it's just a penny. But what if I told you that exact coin could be worth more than a mansion on the beach? Yes, a single 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for an astonishing $941,000. That's nearly $1 million for something most people drop between couch cushions without a second thought. Now here's the scary part. Thousands of people have already tossed one of these pennies away without knowing. They literally had their early retirement plan sitting in their change jar. The question is, will you be the next person to miss out? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact features that make this coin life-changing, how it ended up in circulation, and how you can identify one in your own pocket change before it's too late. And by the way, if you're thinking I'll never find one, let me remind you, neither did the guy who found one. Until he did. Let's rewind to the early 1940s. America was on the brink of entering World War II. Copper was critical for ammunition and military supplies. The Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, was struck mostly in Philadelphia in 1941, which means no mint mark. But here's the twist. Out of the hundreds of millions minted, a small handful came out different. Some had striking errors, double dies, misaligned strikes, or unique planchet compositions, the quirks that turn an ordinary coin into a legendary collectible. These rare anomalies are what auction houses fight over today. When one appears, bidding wars erupt. That's how we get values like $941,000 for a penny that cost 1 cent to make. Now, before you grab a magnifying glass and start searching every jar in your house, here's a quick checklist to keep in mind. Look for sharp, deep details in Lincoln's hair and coat. Check for doubling in the date and lettering. Examine the rim for unusual thickness or flaws. Even tiny imperfections can skyrocket the value. But remember, condition is king. A pristine, mint-state coin can be worth hundreds of thousands more than a worn example. And here's where urgency kicks in. The supply is shrinking. Every year, more are locked away in private collections. Every day, one more is lost forever. That means the one in your pocket just got rarer. Quick question, when was the last time you even checked your change? For most people, the answer is never. And that's exactly why so many fortunes are missed. Imagine this. You're at the kitchen table. The light catches the coin in your hand. You spot the date. You compare it to the checklist I just gave you. Your heart starts racing. Because this could be a dot. That's the power of knowledge. One moment you have loose change. The next you have a life-changing asset. The 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that wealth can be hiding in plain sight. It's proof that opportunity doesn't always knock. Sometimes, it jingles in your pocket. So here's what you need to do. Tonight, pull out every jar, every drawer, every dusty box of coins you've been ignoring. Check every 1941 penny. Follow the checklist. If you think you've found something, contact a reputable coin grading service immediately. Because every day you wait, someone else cashes in. And trust me, you don't want to be the one saying, I used to have one of those, but I spent it on coffee. Now, before you go digging, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Because next week, I'm revealing another coin that could be worth even more than this one. And you'll want to be the first to know. Picture this. You're cleaning out an old desk drawer, and between paper clips and dusty receipts, you spot a small copper coin. A penny. It's nothing special, or so you think. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $940,000? Enough to pay off your mortgage, travel the world, and still have money left over for your grandkids. This is not a fairy tale. It's a true story about one of the most overlooked treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1940 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny without a mint mark. A coin so ordinary in appearance that most people spend it without a second thought. And yet, for a handful of lucky collectors, this very penny has become the ticket to financial freedom. You may be thinking, how can a coin from pocket change be worth nearly $1 million? Well, that's exactly what you're about to find out. But be warned, once you learn what makes this coin special, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Let's step back to 1940. The world was on the brink of global conflict. America hadn't yet entered the war, but the tension was rising. Every cent mattered, literally. Pennies back then were made of 95% copper, a valuable metal. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of Lincoln cents that year without adding a mint mark. Most were used, worn down, and lost to history. But here's where it gets fascinating. A few rare 1940 no-mint mark pennies were struck in perfect condition. Flawless surfaces, sharp details, untouched by circulation. These coins are now considered mint state gems by collectors, and when one of these shows up at auction, the bidding wars begin. Now, why the outrageous value? Think of it like real estate. Most houses are average, but a rare historical property in perfect condition can skyrocket in value. For coins, rarity, condition, and demand create a perfect storm. In the case of this penny, collectors are chasing a piece of history, a tangible artifact from a world-changing era. One recent sale, a jaw-dropping $940,000. For a penny. Let that sink in. That's not just a good day, that's a life-changing day. And here's where you need to pay close attention, because there's a chance you already have one of these pennies without realizing it. Quick question, when was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? I'm not talking about that one stuck between your car seats for 6 months. I mean, really studied it. Odds are you haven't, and that's exactly why treasures like this slip right through people's fingers. Seamless transition. So, how do you tell if you've got the right penny? It starts with 2 things. No mint mark under the date, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia, and condition so sharp it looks like it was minted yesterday. Even pennies with slight wear can still fetch thousands. But the ones in pristine mint state, that's where the magic happens. Cliffhanger now, before you run to your coin jar, there's something else you must know. A single detail that could mean the difference between $1 million coin and a 1-cent disappointment. And most people get this wrong. That detail is grading. Professional coin grading is what confirms a coin's authenticity and condition. Without it, your penny is just a guess. With it, your penny could be your retirement plan. The right grading can elevate a coin's value from a few hundred to hundreds of thousands. Here's the hard truth. For every person who's found a fortune in coins, there are 10 more who unknowingly spent theirs at the grocery store. Don't be that person. If you've got old pennies, especially from the 1940s, get them checked. Look for no mint mark, perfect surfaces, and that rich copper glow. Because somewhere out there, in a coffee can or an old wallet, is another 1940 no mint mark Lincoln cent waiting to change someone's life. And maybe that someone is you. Before you go, remember this: opportunities don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they hide in plain sight, in the smallest of places, like the palm of your hand. So check your change. Search your drawers. And if you find one of these rare pennies, you might just find yourself holding not 1 cent, but $1 million miracle. Subscribe now for more hidden treasure stories and strategies to turn old coins into lasting wealth. Your future self will thank you.